Hello and welcome to the world famous Montello Theater, live from the basement of the world famous Montello Theater. Hold on, I gotta push a button right here. Here we go. Kerry here, and normally I'm doing videos about carnivore content and the documentary and the proper human diet. Today I want to do a little video about our movie theater. This might not be everyone's cup of tea, but wanted to give some updates on the theater. It's a very exciting time because we are open for the summer coming up very soon. I think Jen's in the chat right now. I think like a week or two. I'm at the theater right now because we have a big private birthday party going on above us. We've got some kids up there playing their PlayStation on the big screen, which is actually pretty awesome. The girls and I have done that a couple times. It's pretty fun to do. So we rent out the theater for that reason. Jen and I are both here right now. But we've got some really exciting things going on at the theater. So for anyone that's local and that's watching or that attends the movie theater regularly, we definitely thank you. Jen and I recently announced, well, a couple of months ago now, that we wanted to have veterans free forever at Montello Theater. And we put our money where our mouth is, and we personally donated $500 of our own money, not the movie theater money, to cover the first 100 veterans. And we also committed, like, if we run through all of that, we're going to figure it out. We're going to keep paying them. We can't just let people in and watch the movie. Every ticket has to be accounted for. We have contracts with the movie studio. So we did that, and then we had a little box on the counter, and then the word started getting around town, like you could go to Montello Theater for free if you're a veteran. You just have to show your ID. And we had a couple of businesses, we didn't ask them to, we had a couple of businesses donate. And this was the craziest one. We just had this campground, which is a great campground. There's a lot of really cool campgrounds in and around Montello, but Jen just posted about this one. Crooked River Campground in Montello. They did like a big meat raffle, and they support veterans, and they liked what we were doing. And so they did a big meat raffle to raise funds so that veterans could come to the theater for free. They raised $1,200. I couldn't believe it. They came in the other day, and here's $1,200. 100% of it's going towards future veterans coming to the theater. So if you're a veteran or you know a veteran, please send them to the theater. I'm thankful to say we have had a lot of veterans coming in, although our stretch of summer movies right now is more geared towards kids. So maybe not as many in the near future, but we are switching that up pretty soon. So that's just incredible. And Jen and I were talking about at some point possibly expanding this to senior citizens. We're getting close to maybe where that could be a reality, but we're trying to proceed cautiously and take baby steps. So some really exciting things. The other exciting thing is we've been having a lot of private parties. Like I said, we have a private party right now. You can rent the whole theater out. You can have 150 seats. We charge $125, and you get the theater to yourself for 2 hours, or it's $150. You get the theater to yourself for 3 hours, and you can bring a PlayStation, Xbox. You can, if you have a Netflix or HBO, you can stream anything you want to the big screen. You can have 5 people. You can have 50 people, however many you would like. So it's been a great additional way to support the theater. And then the last thing we've been doing that's been pretty cool is on-screen advertisements for local businesses. That is what has allowed us to keep our prices low. Our ticket prices are just $5, which is half the industry average. Like in the United States, the average ticket price is $9.50. Ours are $5. Every movie, 4 o'clock movie, 7 o'clock movie, Saturday, Wednesday movie, whenever, it's $5. So so those are some announcements about the movie theater. I want to show you guys this too. We got some fun movies coming up. We have a lot of kids movies coming up here. Let me see. I probably should have show you a couple. Make this a little bigger. This is a flyer Jen is actually working on upstairs right now. So the movie we have right now is Inside Out 2. We have that. And then, let me see, we have that Friday, 14th, 15th, 16th. Then we're closed for a couple days. And then we're open Thursday. I think we're missing a Friday on here. Oh, Jen's going to be mad at me. I'm supposed to proofread this. Well, we'll figure it out. Then we're playing the movie If for the weekend. And then we're playing Despicable Me 4, which should be crazy busy. I think JT's coming up for that. JT, Poco Moonshine Family, JT, Anna, and William. And then we're playing that movie Twisters, which looks pretty cool. You guys remember the original Twister movie, right? This new one coming out is called Twisters. And I saw the previews. It looks kind of crazy, like kind of over the top, but hey, that's what movies are for, right? It should be kind of fun. The first Twister movie I remember was just incredible. Probably scared a lot of people too. So those are some of the movies we've got coming up. It looked like you're missing a Friday, Jen. Jen's chatting to me here on the text. Maybe the June 19th. What are we doing June 19th? Or was that supposed to not be on there? Anyhow, if you guys have any movie theater questions, let me know. If you want to talk about the movie theater at all. Tell me this: what is the most recent movie you've seen, and did you enjoy it, and could you recommend it? Always love hearing other movie recommendations. Jen, you tell us what was your favorite one you've seen recently. Hey, my buddy Lash is on here too. Speaking of cool people, I just did a video with Lash. It went live this morning, and oh my goodness, it is inspiring a lot of people. Lash had I was gonna keep this on the movie theater. I always do so much carnivore content, but we'll talk carnivore for a minute. Lash had psoriasis, psoriatic arthritis, depression, and the man was suffering for like 30 years. He found carnivore diet. Can you guys guess what happened next? Well, you'll have to watch the video, but people are getting fired up and leaving some really good comments. They love you, my friend. I told you they would. They love you. They love your story. You're really inspiring so many people. So. Jen said we're closed. Pam's people, do you think one day you will be showing 35mm films again? I would love to. I would love to. We have our original projector. Well, I shouldn't say original because this theater dates back to 1859. That's when the deed does. I don't know if the building was here quite then or if it was a couple of years after. I know for sure the building was here in 1878. But the deed goes back to before Lincoln was president. And we have had every iteration of movies there were. From in the beginning, it was just a playhouse. This building was here before electricity. This building was here before the airplane was invented. This building was here before they could even heat the building. There was a fireplace and there was no electricity. There was just lamps and lanterns and a wood fireplace. So we've had every type of projector here, but the projector that we had just before the digital one, we still have. And it plays film, and it works perfectly fine. Sadly, most movie theaters shut down maybe 10, 15 years ago because the whole industry switched to digital. And those digital projectors were $50,000, $100,000, depending on where you'd get them and the quality you'd get. And so a lot of single-screen movie theaters like this one shut down. Fortunately, the former owner here was able to fundraise and bank enough money to purchase that expensive digital projector, which we have now. But the original film projector is still sitting up there, and there's nothing wrong with it. The only reason they didn't remove it is because it was so heavy, and there's like a ladder you have to go to get up the steps, and so they didn't want to deal with that. Pop Eater said movie in a theater. No, tell me any movie. If you saw it on Netflix or on TV, let me know. I don't remember. Movie in general, The Imitation Game. Oh, I think I remember that one. Rock Salt, my buddy. This guy makes movies. He made a movie called 11, which was awesome. Maybe you could play my movie 11 in your theater, a World War I film which premiered in Leicester Square, London. I think I said that wrong. On exactly the 100th anniversary of Armistice in November of 2018. Yeah, Rock, I would not be opposed to doing that. We're thinking about doing like showing everything we show now is new movies, feature movies that come out. We have done one or two like a Christmas donation so far, but we're open to the idea of maybe doing like a classics day or a throwback day or showing some cool movies like yours for sure. We have the technology to, like, if you're on Amazon Prime, which I'm pretty sure 11 is on Amazon Prime. I think that's where I watched it when you first told me about it, Rock. We could stream anything on the screen too, which is pretty cool. It's just a digital projector. I can. My buddy Bill Knott, I've watched several Bill Knott videos on the big screen, believe it or not, because the timing coincides when I load the movie for the screen. I'm usually here. So Carnivorous Dude said, I only do the home theater because Montello Theater is too far away. Yeah, that's right. Carnivorous Dude, that's Ed, right? Edward? Where are you from, Ed? Remind me. I'm trying to remember. You were telling me at the Dr. Hampton meetup. What movie, Ed, have you seen recently that you really enjoyed? I'm trying to think of the last one Jen and I watched. You know, I'm finding something, these life lessons as I'm getting older and wiser, in quotation marks, or maybe not wiser, maybe just overthinking things. But isn't it crazy now how we have access to so many things to watch? And it's like when you have unlimited access, you choose nothing, or you just flip through and watch you don't watch anything. Like you flick through Netflix for an hour and you end up not watching anything. It's kind of interesting, not to tie everything back to carnivore, but I was thinking about that for carnivore too. As humans, one of the craziest things about us is we just have this incessant need for variety. You go in the grocery store and there's 60,000 items. You go down the ketchup aisle and you got to have 60 different types of ketchup to choose from. It's like, but the funny thing with that is most people go in the grocery store and they're like, no, this is my thing. This is my particular drink and beverage. That's special to me. I'm special. I drink this one. That's my deal. This is my type of ketchup. Oh, I only eat this type of bread. So it's so funny how humans work that way. We have access to unlimited things to watch. We end up not watching anything. We have access to unlimited things to eat, and most humans end up eating the same few things that they consider their own things, and they're probably kind of bad for them anyway. But Drax of the North, proud to say we donated to Healing Humanity GoFundMe, $140,000 so far. Thank you so much for your donation. We really appreciate it. I can't wait to try to tie this back into the movie theater, because I was going to do a whole video just on the Montello Theater and not on carnivore, but I can't stop talking about carnivore. But when our documentary is done, Healing Humanity, I can't wait because it's going to premiere here on the big screen above. In fact, I've already watched parts of it on the screen. That's one big, huge benefit. It sounds like, doesn't sound like it would be. Like, what's the difference if you watch it on TV or screen? There's a difference. There is a difference. But I've watched some of the clips on the big screen. It's pretty cool seeing them. In particular, the teaser trailer we put together, I watched on the big screen as well. It's a lot more fun watching it on the big screen. I can't wait till we show the whole film on the big screen, and then maybe the subsequent episodes after that. Ellen said, how fun, big screen Daisy. Yeah, Bill's Daisy. Did you guys see it? I decided to do this live, and then I saw that Bill just posted a video, so I haven't had a chance to watch the whole thing yet, so I got to check that out. I watched Bill's last video. Oh my goodness. Riding that four-wheeler. That was crazy. Really crazy, because Emma and I rode that very four-wheeler that Bill hasn't ridden in years. I can't wait to watch his next episode, because he's going to go further in the other direction. And there's some cool stuff in that other direction. Rock Salt said, in regards to your documentary, please consider taking it to MIPCOM in Cannes in October. MIPCOM is where TV executives buy content, including documentaries. Enter it also into the Cannes Film Festival. Thank you, Rock. I so appreciate your feedback. You've been really helpful. My buddy Chad has been really helpful. And I just met a woman and had a phone call with her. Speaking of movies, this is on topic. She has, I think she's made 3 documentaries of her own, and 2 of them were picked up by Gravitas. Gravitas Ventures, I think it is. Drawing a blank right now. She did an excellent documentary. She wanted to have a phone call with me yesterday, and we ended up talking for about 2 hours. Incredible. And I so appreciate your feedback, Rock, because you've been here and you've done this before. As I've always said from the beginning, I'm not a documentary filmmaker. I'm doing this because I believe it needs to be done, and I don't see anybody else doing it. And now that we've started doing it, I think we really have something very special here. But it's going to be a whole new ballgame when we start distributing this and marketing it and getting into to different film festivals. So, and the lady I talked to yesterday, we're gonna have another call next week, which I'm really looking forward to. She gave me some really good ideas as well. Tracy, bless you all. Thank you for all you're doing. Oh, thank you, Tracy. Appreciate that. Meat is medicine. My family lives in Missoula. Bill's video today was great. Daisy and Bill. Lash, I have a lot of friends in the movie industry too, so when it's ready, let me know. Lash, absolutely, we'll let you know. Yeah, I know you're out there in California, right? We got to cross paths, Lash. Well, I got to be careful what I say, but your story is so incredible. It would be great. Maybe at some point, this is no promise, this is no guarantee, because we're filming so many people for the documentary. Like we're having a big meeting on Tuesday to rein it in, but your story, Lash, is just crazy. to potentially include, maybe not in the documentary, but after the documentary, we're doing a subsequent series. And we did one on skin issues. You'd be right in there, man, with the psoriasis you had for 30 years. My family lives in Missoula. I asked if they go to your theater. They just don't do movies. Yeah, some people are like that. Nancy said, I loved your interview with Lash. Well, there's Lash right there. Thanks, Nancy. Yeah, I get some great feedback on that video for sure. Lots of comments flowing in. That's awesome. I'm so happy too, because I've talked to so many individuals that have had life-changing results on carnivore. But Lash was the first person I talked to with psoriasis. You weren't the first person with depression, though. That's one common factor. Like, Lash had psoriasis, but oh, wait a minute. Also, I had horrible clinical depression. And I hear that from so many people. So many people. They do carnivore for one reason, but the other big reason that most of them have in common is mental health issues. Saw Mimi with Dr. Chafee today. I got to catch that one up. Mimi was on my channel, and she just did Dr. Chafee's. I haven't watched that one yet, but I'm looking forward to it. There you go. Make theaters great again. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Hey, if you guys are around a small town theater, I highly encourage it. It's like independent farmers, ranchers. We got to support them too. Support the small town theaters. There's so many out there that are struggling, but they're getting it done. And I'll tell you what, it's so much nicer going into a small town theater. Most of the time, the person behind the counter that you're talking to is the owner. And a lot of times they're going to remember your name and they're going to know who you are. And it's just a lot more fun for me. And they're not going to rip you off. Man, when Jen and I took over the theater, I remember we went to AMC, like let's see what the competition's doing. They're like an hour away, but let's see what they're doing right now. And I know concessions and stuff like that were expensive, but they had their big tub of popcorn deal. It was like $19 or something for their largest combo. It's ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous with these big warehouse-sized movie theaters that you go to, and you can't afford to take your family there. You have to take a second mortgage out on your house to go to a movie. People are like, I'm not going to go to a movie then. I'm just going to watch it on Netflix. It doesn't have to be that way. A lot of that's just mismanagement and greed, in my opinion. But lots of awesome small town movie theaters. That's something when Jen and I, when we're done with this documentary, I look forward to doing in the future. Jen and I have done this quite a bit. If we ever get the opportunity to travel, is we always try to find a small town movie theater. It's so cool seeing the history. My buddy runs the one in Watertown, the Town Cinema. That one goes back to the 30s. It's independently run theater. They have 3 screens. You go in, it's like a museum. They have all the old projectors and the history up there. Fair prices. These ticket prices are $4. Ours are $5. He's still got his beat. He's $1 cheaper than Montello Theater. He is the lowest price in the state, I believe. There used to be a budget cinemas, but he's playing new run movies for $4. Ours are new run movies are $5. The industry average is $9.50, but you'll see that a lot at these small town theaters. The ticket prices will be a lot less than the big box ones. So Jen and I were in Illinois last year. I think we were going to IKEA. Ugh. But I think we stayed the night or something. I can't remember what we did, but there was a small town movie theater we went to there. It was really cool. And there's some that are you go into and they're like these old ones from the 20s or the 30s where they just have the awesome architecture and they preserved it. Those things are so cool. But there's a lot in small towns. Our movie theater was an opera house. So I always tell people thousands of stories were told here before a single movie ever played. When the Titanic sunk, they had a picture show here at the theater. Actually, where I'm sitting right now is in the basement of the movie theater. There used to be a bowling alley right here. They used to do shows upstairs, and then they have like a big buffet dinner down here. They have like banquet dinners down here. So lots of history. Carnivore Mommy, I love IKEA. We go to the one right outside Milwaukee. We make it a date. Yeah, Jen and I don't know if we've been to the one outside Milwaukee. That's on the southern part, right? South of Milwaukee, I think. We've only been to that one in Illinois. Rocksalt said, I'm hoping to visit the U.S. with my son in the fall of this year. It'd be great to meet up. Oh, man, 100%. Come to the theater. I'd love to just give you a tour of the theater. So, Rock, my other buddy, Chad, who's also a documentary filmmaker. He's made several films. He was in the area, and I invited him over, and he was totally we were both totally geeking out. I gave him a whole tour of the entire building. There's so much history here. I showed him the old film projectors. We have the old carbon arc projector downstairs, so I was able to show him all of those things. But I know you have a love for movies, Rock. So if you came here, I think you'd like to see some of the history. We're still uncovering a lot of the history. That was one of the things we did initially. We were going around like with metal detectors and looking around in the floorboards of the basement. Well, there's still areas of the attic I haven't explored yet. There's a lot of history here. CH said the picture house in my hometown in the UK is from the 1920s. Yeah, that's back there for sure. You know, ours in the 20s, they converted it from the opera house, which was a flat building, right? It was like this. And then they added a ramp so you could see over each other's heads on the screen. And they brought in a piano. And when they played the silent movies, they would have a person come in and play the piano for each of the movies. And we still have the piano is actually right above my head. We still have the piano. It's behind the screen on the stage. But even before the 1920s that we were operating, they did before they had movies, the earliest shows they had, these amazed people. Imagine nowadays, people couldn't care less. But before they had regular movies, right, you would go in and they would have first it'd be a rudimentary just picture show. And then they would have like a 30-second clip. And it would be like either of a train or one of them was like a warship. I found some footage of a warship they used to show. And people would pay. They'd pay a lot of money to go see because back then you couldn't travel and see a warship. So they were able to start seeing things that you could never see with your own two eyes. And it was just like 30 seconds, just amazed people to see that on a screen. And then that, of course, evolved to where they're like, hey, we could turn this into like a drama, like a story. And they got longer and longer silent movies and into the full-blown movies. But anyhow, the coolest thing here at Montello Theater is we've had all of it, literally every one of those, from the first picture shows where you're looking at a little device to you're looking up on a rudimentary projector to silent movies to film movies to digital movies that we have now. Rock Salt, I think a documentary of your story would be great. Just a thought. Oh, I don't even want to think about that. But thank you. You know what would be cool? Maybe just for me, because I geek out on this movie stuff and other movie lovers. Just well, you know, there was one, but a documentary on this theater would be cool. I have my little history book here. It's upstairs. We wrote a history book on this theater that did a chronology of the whole theater, every decade and what happened throughout the decades and the different owners. That would be really cool as a documentary too. This building has so much history. Like this wall, obviously there's plastic stuff, but on the other side of this wall is granite, and it's like the wall is like this thick, and the granite came from a quarry right across the street, Montello Quarry. And when President Grant died, they spent millions of dollars, and they spent 6 years trying to put together Grant's tomb. They wanted to make it like Napoleon's tomb. They wanted to make the biggest, most elaborate tomb for anyone ever for President Grant. And they searched all over the world for granite, and they actually did tests. They tested the hardness and the quality of the granite, and they ended up picking right across the street from us. You guys have seen it before. The waterfalls there. They picked the granite from Montello, and they actually dug Grant's tomb out right across the street from here. And the cool thing is that brown granite, it was tested out of 206 tests they did. Our granite was the strongest, densest granite. And so they found it fitting for Grant's tomb. But that same granite that's in Grant's tomb is literally surrounding me in these walls right here. It's the exact same granite, came right out of that quarry right there. So it's so much cool, little interesting history like that here. We do history tours here. And I just had a group come in, and I think we're scheduling I don't know if it's this Saturday or next. On Saturdays during the summer, we do history tours. You can come in. We charge $10. You get a 40-minute history tour. We'll show you the projector room. We'll show you the old carbon arc projector. We'll give you a whole history tour outside, inside. And then we end the tour with a short silent film that would have played here 100 years ago. And we have a couple to choose from. The one that people seem to like the most is a Buster Keaton film called Cops. I think it's like 17 minutes. It's really cool. That guy was the original. He does his own stunts. Like almost died over and over again. That guy was incredible doing his own stunts. So, Drax of the North, do you have to pay the movie distribution company based on attendance? Just wondering how the movie theater business works. Great question. Hey, if you guys got any more geeky questions like this, I love this kind of stuff. Let me know. Here's how it works. We have contracts with all of the movie studios, which was a big pain. When we took over the theater, that was the hardest part of taking over the theater. Some of these contracts are like this thick. They're absolutely ridiculous. And each and every studio, there's lots of studios. It's not, you got Disney, Universal, all the little studios. If you want to play Sound of Freedom, Angel Studios, you got to have contracts with all of them. Once you have the contract with them, it varies per movie and then terms. And so you have to have a movie booker. And I'm so thankful that I became friends with my buddy Matt, who runs the theater in Watertown, and he put me on to a local movie booker. The previous owner of this theater, this place was shut down for 2 years during COVID. And her movie booker was not doing her justice. She even told me that. So for each movie, it's different. So for example, not to disparage anyone, but some movies, some studios, they will say, you want to play our movie, buddy, you got to play for 3 weeks, and we're going to get 70% of your ticket sales. So they get based on ticket sales. And a lot of times it's the majority of the ticket sales. So we charge $5. Like we might get $1 out of that $5. The majority of that $5 in most cases goes to the studio. And the 70%, that's on the high end, but that's for a certain studio I'm not going to name. And then like if that wasn't bad enough, oftentimes they'll also say, we don't care that you only have one screen. If you want to play our movie when it comes out, you're going to play it for 3 weeks or 2 weeks. A lot of times it's 2 weeks. Sometimes it's 3 weeks. I'm like, we got 1,400 people population in Montello. I can't play your movie for 3 weeks. Like everyone in the whole town will have seen it by then. So that's the tricky part. It's a cursing and a bless having one screen, because I don't even know how these people do it when they have 3 screens or 5 screens or 7 screens, trying to figure out what to play. We only have one. So if we do a kids movies, then you're leaving out the adults or the senior citizens. If you do a movie for senior citizens, the kids don't have a movie to watch. So it's always about finding a balance. But to answer your question, they get a price per ticket, a percentage of the ticket sales. And there's like no monkey business with the ticket sales. If someone goes through that door, there has to be a ticket paid. So like when we do the veterans are free forever, every one of those veterans are getting paid for. We literally pay for it right away. We do audits. All of the tickets we have to keep strict records of. They're serialized, both the ticket and the stub. And the movie companies will actually audit you, and they'll say, okay, for the movie you played on September 7th, 2023, we want to see all those tickets and we want to reconcile them with the numbers you gave us. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. So it can be tough that way. If you play older movies, that percentage goes down. And oftentimes, this is the part that's just insane to me. But whatever, it is what it is. Some of these studios now, this theater's worked with since the start of time. Me personally owning the theater, I've worked with for 1.5 years. They still require a down payment every single time. Like, say we play a movie for Hope Holdings Studio, Hope Studio. Let's just make one up. We play a movie for Hope Studio. If we play a movie for them, they will not allow us to play it. Even though we have a signed legal contract with them, we're going to give them a percentage of the tickets. They still want money up front. It's always confusing because it's like, so after the fact, you think I'm not going to pay you, and then I'm never going to get to play a movie from your studio again because I didn't pay you for the last one. But yeah, so it adds another level of just headaches to the whole business of it, because you're like, okay. And then they want the check like right away. And then you got to like wire a check. You got to run to the bank, wire them a check in advance for this thing that they're going to get the percentage of. So I'm not complaining, but I'm complaining a little bit. It's a lot of headaches, but sorry. Long story short, they get a percentage of the ticket sales, and then they have terms on how long you play it for. So it can get tricky. If we played only old movies, like you guys have probably seen in Wisconsin, we had budget movies. Jen and I used to go on dates there all the time, and they would play movies that had been out for a couple of weeks, and it would be like $1 or $1.50 to see those movies. And those ones would be a lot cheaper because they already hit the prime time. When they come out, they're hot. They want you to play them for 2 or 3 weeks, and then they start to fizzle. And when they fizzle, you can get them for a cheaper price or a smaller percentage. Maybe you only got to pay 20% or something like that if it's been out for a couple months already. The cool thing, though, is like with private parties at our theater, if you rent this privately and we shut the doors and it's just you and your party, whether that's 5 people or 50 people, you can play anything that you own. So, and that includes any streaming services. So if you pay for HBO streaming, You have to use your own account, but you can log in on our screen, your own HBO, and you can play it for you and your 50 friends as long as that's a private closed party to them. That's legal and within the rules. So what are we saying here? Jen's saying, I think we should charge 15. Oh, for the tours. Yeah, I'm pretty bad at just giving everything away. $15 would actually be pretty fair for that tour as well. I sound like a broken record with some of these things, but I'm very fortunate. Like Jen and I, we've got a couple businesses. We're not rich at all. We don't have a ton of money to do all of this stuff. When we did the movie theater, we're like, this is just going to be a passion project. We're lucky if we can break even. We're breaking even. We're making a little bit of money, but every money goes back into it. So these history tours, it's like, well, whatever. Well, I wanted to do it for free just to share the history of the theater. The $10 that all goes into our building fund. This building goes back to 1859. Oh my goodness, so many problems maintaining. It's a full-time job maintaining the building. So the history tours we do to maintain the building. I don't know what I was thinking. Like I Healing Humanity, the documentary I'm working on, that is my passion project. That's my mission, purpose, goal in life. That's what I'm focused on. The movie theater came before that, and that was also our family's sort of passion project as well. It's not good to have two passion projects. Luckily, we have our little dog kennel on our property. We have our Airbnb rental. I've been doing YouTube for like 8 years. So before I ever started doing carnivore, like my stuff on YouTube started taking off on carnivore, but I was making decent income from YouTube for many years before that. So we got a little bit of income coming in from that. Like I got videos that I did on homesteading years ago that have millions of views. They're still bringing in a little bit of income. I do website marketing too. So all of those things keep us afloat. But yeah, the movie theater that Jen's saying we should charge $15 for the tour. Maybe you're probably right. People like it for $10 too, and you get to see a silent film at the end of it. We did a history tour for a senior citizen group last year. It was so much fun. There's like 40 or 50 of them. One guy I think he started crying. He was like, this is just bringing back so many memories when I was a kid. And I go to the theater, and it was pretty cool. Rock said he's going to stop by in the U.S. visit. Absolutely, man. Give me a call. Stop by. If you're coming up this summer, we're here every day except Monday or Tuesday, where we're going to be open every day. I think starting in 2 weeks. We're starting a little bit later. 1920s isn't old around here. The church is currently being restored. A church has stood there since 540 AD. Wow, that's crazy. See, we forget about that in the U.S. You go over to the UK, you go over to the other side of the pond, and you got really, really old buildings there. We see buildings here from 1859 and our jaws drop, but you got one 540 AD. Wow. Jen said, Adam, anytime, Adam, you're always welcome. Are you coming past us at all when you go up north? Metro. Karen Harrington, my great-grandma played piano in a theater for the silent movies. That is so cool. That is so cool. I would love to restore our piano. It's right above my head. It plays a couple notes, but it's really, it's so expensive to get those things restored. My buddy that runs the theater in Watertown, he has a guy that comes in for Christmas and plays Christmas movies. They'll play silent movies, and he'll play the piano. He comes in and plays the piano for him, and he's gonna hook me up with him. Jen, we gotta talk to Matt about getting him in here for Christmas. We should plan that ahead of time. That'd be really cool. Nancy said it's warm in Southern California, but no humidity like other parts of the country. Tupaya King, do you consume hydrogen water? No, haven't tried it. I'm very fortunate where we live. We have a well, and our land is very, very sandy, and our well is very, very deep. We have, this isn't exaggerating, like my brother-in-law comes over, he brings jugs over to fill up on our water. He's like, you guys have the best tasting water anywhere. I got to get it tested again. When we first purchased our property, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago, we had it tested, and it was all legit and good, but that's most of the water I drink. I got to get away from drinking these plastic water bottles. There's so much coming out about how bad that is with all the microplastics and stuff like that. I got to get better. I got the awesome little water jugs we got from Johnny F. And I always use it, and then I leave it somewhere, and then I'm in a hurry and I grab something else. I got to get into a rhythm. Carnivore Mommy, I missed the budget cinema. So yeah, you're from Wisconsin. You've been there. So there was one in West Dallas. Jen and I on Highway 100. Jen and I, that was our first date ever. What was that, Jen? 30 years ago now, almost 30 years ago. That was our first date ever. We went to Budget Cinemas on Highway 100. I think it was in West Dallas, just outside of Milwaukee. I used to live down the road from there. Jen and I went there over and over again for many years. And then we took the girls there when they were young. I think that one went out of business in Milwaukee area maybe 10 years ago. I think that's about right. I think I probably took the girls there when they were 5 or 6. But I don't know if you know this, Sherry, Carnivore Monty, that same company, it was Silver Cinemas. Budget Cinemas was run by Silver Cinemas. So they had the one in Milwaukee. They had one in Madison. And that one went on. And even after COVID, it reopened. And we went back there. We took the girls there. I saw the documentary, which was fantastic, by the way. What was it called? The one with Alex Honnold. Where he Free Solo. Carnivore Brain. Free Solo. You guys seen Free Solo? Oh my goodness. I'm so glad I got to see that, and the girls saw that in the big screen, and that was at Budget Cinemas in Madison. You guys seen Free Solo? What an incredible documentary that was. Yeah, I'll show you quick. I wonder if can I play this? Let's see if this will work. No, didn't like that. Probably get in trouble for playing this. Let me see here.
Does it feel different to be up there without a rope?
It's obviously like much higher consequence.
People who know a little bit about climbing, they're like, oh, he's totally safe. And then people who really know exactly what he's doing are freaked out.
I've thought about El Cap like for years, and every year I'm like, that's really scary. I'll never be content unless
No mistakes tomorrow.
starting to become fight.
If you're pushing the edge, eventually you find the edge.
I can't believe you guys actually watch.
Hey Jimmy, do you copy? Just started climbing.
We'll just watch a bunch of movie trailers now. Have you guys seen that movie? I forgot about that one. Yeah, so long story short, Jen and I saw that at Budget Cinemas with the girls in Madison. And that was a great, great documentary and an awesome movie to watch on the big screen. You leave that just absolutely sweating. My goodness. So Free Solo, he climbs that whole thing with no ropes. Like he could fall off and just die at any time. Just crazy. And I can't even imagine the logistics of filming that one. That's just nuts. Rock Salt said, I think that maybe you have to play their movie for 3 weeks, but not consecutive weeks. So you could play them for 1 week, a month with other movies in between. Well, not here, Rock. I don't know what it's like over there, but here they force us 3 weeks in a row. They want to, for these big feature movies, the studios require it 3 weeks in a row. And not only can we not play anything in between it, we can't play their movie at, say, we'll play it for 3 weeks in a row at 7 p.m., but at 4, we're going to play something else. Can't do it if it's on the same screen. If I had 2 screens, I could play one movie on one on the other, but because we only have one screen, it has to be only that movie for 3 weeks. It's crazy. And they're very, very strict about it. Like, they don't mess around. CH said, it's wonderful that people like you are keeping sites of historical interest open, hard work, but it's important. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I am absolutely in love with the history of this building. Jen is too. Like, we've fallen in love with it. There's so much history here. And it was the thing that has really fired us up and gotten us passionate about this movie theater was we came here all the time. We loved it. We loved the building. We loved the history. We loved the owner. We loved that it was family friendly, fair prices. We loved the movies in general. But when it was closed down during COVID, it was heartbreaking. We would drive by it over and over again. And then things started to open up again, but this place didn't. The former owner was awesome, but it was really hard for her to open back up. All those contracts I was talking about, she'd have to do all of that stuff again. So she's like, do I want to? She ran it for 20 years, kept all the prices fair. She did such a great job. The whole community deserves to give her a round of applause. I think when we reopened, I shouted her out and people clapped for her, but what an amazing person. Ran this place for 20 years, missed family functions and gatherings and things like that because she was here wanting to have the theater open for the community. She had it at $3 a ticket for the longest time, but She was doing concessions after COVID. So we would drive by every now and then they started opening concessions up. We're like, when's the movie theater going to go open up again? And then the whole community was like, we want it open. We want it open. So that was how it reopened. We reopened it after COVID, which was scary for many reasons, but mainly because so many people had shifted away. They're like, okay, well, now I'm used to just watching Netflix and streaming stuff at home. I don't really care about going to the movie theater anymore. So big risk and all around. But I'm thankful we did it. I'm thankful we're doing it. I'm thankful we're keeping the doors running. The community's been great. It's a hard, tough business. It's definitely not something you get into to make money, but I'm proud we're able to keep the doors open. And some of the things we're doing are helping us keep open. Like this video, let me show you guys this real quick, just in case anyone's interested, because a lot of people watching this, there's some people that don't care anything about carnivore, which I talk about all the time. I have had quite a few requests. I think there might be some people on here that are like, dude, I just want to hear more about the movie theater. If that is the case for you, this is the website, montellotheater.com. I'm not just shamelessly plugging this, but a lot of people don't know this. If you click on montellotheater.com and you go to Montello Theater YouTube videos, we got tons of videos on the movie theater. Here's when we bought the theater and reopened it. Like before the doors were open, we were cleaning stuff out. Here's where I had a metal detector. I found some really cool stuff behind the theater that we dug up. Check this one out. This is when we...
In today's episode of Homestead How,
had the
we
DeLorean.
reopened our movie theater we purchased. It hasn't shown a movie in 2 years, and we have our Back to the Future grand reopening. Let's see if our family can pull this together and have a great opening weekend.
What were your thoughts when you found out your niece was going to open a movie theater in today's day and age?
Are you nuts?
Nuts. That's our beloved Auntie Lane. That was pretty funny. Yeah, so I got some cool shots there, that DeLorean. We had the DeLorean parked out here. So anyways, long story short, if people are like, dude, I'm sick of hearing about carnivore stuff, I just want to learn more about the movie theater, montellotheater.com, you click on this, there's a whole playlist. There's tons of movies that videos that we've done strictly on the theater, like when we sold out, Amish man reacting, my Amish buddy, I took him here and I got a pretty cool reaction from him. We sold out A Man Called Otto. That's an actual picture of the audience. The whole theater was sold out. There were people down the road. So we've done lots of videos over the years. So if you want to get your movie theater fix, you can do that. We also have this pay it forward thing we added for veterans. If you want to book the entire screen, if you want to get Montello Theater shirts or gift cards, we got all that stuff going on the montellotheater.com. So Nancy said we have a couple independent theaters here in Newport. Oh, that's cool. CH, you're so much richer than many rich people. Good heart, good health, good family. That's wealth. Oh, thank you so much. That is some wisdom right there, CH. I totally agree with you. We need money to make the world go around, but having my health is the most valuable thing in the world because it allows me time with my family, and my family's healthy. I'm going to get to grow old with my wife and my kids. And those are the things we're going to be enjoying, memorizing, and cherishing when we have our last breaths. Not how much money we had or some junk, garbage, artificial crap that we bought with our money. Memories of this theater, the history of it, the tours, running this with the girls and Jen. Those memories are priceless, absolutely priceless. Topaya King, do you consume any supplements? Well, I recommend on carnivore doing it the first couple of weeks while you're getting started. For the majority of the 452 days, that's right, I'm on day 452 of carnivore, no supplements. I'm experimenting with a few things right now, but electrolytes are the one that most people miss out on. And I listen pretty closely to my body if I'm feeling tired or fatigued, which rarely happens, or if I'm going to do a lot of exercise. Sometimes I'll take some supplements, but very rarely. Magnesium, I was on a magnesium kick for a while. I believe a lot of people are deficient in magnesium. Dr. Barry's done some videos on that. Sometimes I'll take magnesium before bed. There's some things, people will argue, well, if carnivore is so perfect, why do you have to supplement? The reason is because the world has changed. The reason carnivore works so good is because we're doing what humans have since the start of time. But in recent time, we have changed things so much. I'll give you one quick example, and then we'll talk about movies some more. Our water system, most of the water you get now has fluoride in it. It's purified. It's filtered. Any nutrients and minerals that we would have gotten throughout all of humanity, drinking water, as Dr. Barry says, out of a puddle or out of a pond or out of a river, there's minerals, there's nutrients in there. Those are missing from the human diet because most of us are drinking bottled water or tap water that's got fluoride and filter in it. So carnivore is awesome, but the world we're living in, things are changing. But if you're eating a lot of red meat and organs and things like that, you can get most of what you need from just that. That's what my buddy Dr. Chafee does. B-Dog, my mom went to the premiere of Gone with the Wind in Atlanta in 1939. Wow. That movie, Gone with the Wind, was a crazy movie for the projectionist. A lot of people don't realize how hard the projectionist had it. Horrible, back-breaking, dangerous job in a metal booth that was, it was made out of metal because of the fire issue, because the film was so flammable. I always tell people this when we do the tour. The film they used to have back in the day, you light that film on fire, submerge it in a bucket of water, remove it from the bucket of water, it's still lit on fire. It was a dangerous, hot job too. The carbon arc projector, it's just like a sizzling electric rod, and there's actually a 6-inch chimney coming off of those projectors, and we had 2 of them running simultaneously. The projections would do reel 1 here and then move over to reel 2 here, then put reel 3 on here and go back and forth like every 20 minutes. Gone with the Wind was just a nightmare for these guys. And then as the audience, we were just down there watching the movie, just oblivious to the fact that there's a guy sweating, risking his life up there, switching between both of these things over and over again. And that's just with one film. Then you'd have to go over to the film playing in the next theater if they had multiple screens. We don't, but if they did, you have to do it all over again on that one and the next one, the next one. Jen said, oh, I'm far behind. OMG, yes. And what was our first movie we saw at Budget Cinema she's talking about? Wasn't it like Street Fighter 2 or something crazy like that? I don't know. I'm going to get yelled at now. Jen, remind me, what was it? I remember we saw like Street Fighter 2 at Budget Cinemas. And I remember what we used to also do. There was Budget Cinemas, and then across the road from it, right down the road from it, on the corner of, I think it was Highway 100 and Beloit Road, there was this little restaurant. It's still there, I'm sure. It was a Greek restaurant called The Forum, and they might have changed owners over the years. But we would go there, and it was like, that was when I started getting fat. We would go there and we would eat. You would get like, you get your salad, dinner, and dessert, and it was like all included. And we're like, oh, this is so fancy. Jen would always get the spaghetti, which drove me nuts because I'm like, those noodles are like 4 cents. You're like totally getting ripped off. I'd be getting some bready, carby junk. That's when we started getting fat. But yeah, we would go to dinner and a movie out there at Budget Cinemas. I got to catch up on these comments. Jen, remind me, what was the first movie? Did I get it right? Midwest Cemetery. I couldn't take my autistic son to the movie theater, so the drive-in was our thing. We've got one drive-in, I think maybe 2. There's one drive-in in Wisconsin Dells that operates. It's about an hour from us. I think we took the girls there last year, the year before. Midwest drive-ins were great. Yeah, sadly, not many of those left anymore, but there is one in Wisconsin Dells if anyone comes up. My buddy Brett, Hoosier Carnivore, is coming up to the Dells. If you guys aren't familiar with the Dells, it's about 45 minutes from here. It's the water park capital of the world. It's kind of touristy. There's tons of indoor, outdoor water parks, go-karts, restaurants, and then there's a lot of beauty. There's the upper Dells and lower Dells. There's this river, and there's like cliffs, sandstone cliffs. It's really beautiful. You got Wisconsin ducks, which are these old World War II vehicles that go on water, or I'm sorry, on land and then in the water, and they come out of the water. You can go on tours and stuff like that. But there's a drive-in there too. A lot of people don't know that. There's a drive-in in the Dells, and it's still operating. It was running last year. I think they're up and running right now, in fact. Alan, hey, Kerry, I like the new backdrop with the blue light. Looks awesome, very professional. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm trying to slowly up my game. My buddy Adam has the best setup anywhere. I'm taking baby steps. I'm getting closer. I think I want to remove these white things. Amazon company sent us these and we did a video. That Ticket to Paradise, that poster box, that was in the basement of the theater. It was all dirty. And when we took over the theater, I'm like, I'm going to put that on the wall. I'm going to put a poster in it. The lights still work. Everything still works. That's going to have a Healing Humanity poster in it at some point, which is going to be really cool and fitting since I do a lot of my live streams down here. And then over here, hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, those are my good friends. Adam from Carnivore Today, Jim, Ribeye Ranger, Lynn Tucker Carnivore. And then I'm holding a picture of me and Dr. Barry. There's a whole story behind that. You guys are probably familiar with it already, but Lynn Tucker had my picture in the background of one of her YouTube videos. It was the funniest thing in the world. And then I got to meet her and she had me sign the picture. And now I have a picture of me holding the picture, and it's now picture inception. She's going to have a picture on her desk of me holding the picture, of her holding the picture, and so on and so on. Free Solo was incredible. Speaking of the devil, there she is, Lynn Tucker Carnivore. Hi all. How cool you're on. I just got home from the gym and groceries. There you go. There's my buddy Lynn. Drax of the North, do you have any new Healing Humanity merch coming in the future? I have the Black Positive Deviant t-shirt. It's a great conversation starter. We got to go through. We got a big call coming up Tuesday with Adam and the whole team that's volunteering. I'm going to talk about that on there because I've got some ideas. There's stuff on there that could be refreshed. Adam just hooked us up when we were in Austin. He had some Healing Humanity hats made, and they were embroidered, and they're really cool. And I usually often wear a baseball hat. I've had a lot of requests for those, so hopefully soon, Drax. Sorry, just catching up on the comments here. I think our party's wrapping up upstairs. What time is it? 3 o'clock. Those kids were having a blast up there playing their PlayStation on the big screen. It's so much fun. Lynn Tucker said the first movie I remember seeing were Dr. No and From Russia with Love. I was 10 and my brother was supposed to take me to the kids' movie. That's awesome. I have a lot of stories like that, Lynn, here at the theater. A guy came in and was telling me he came with his little brother and they saw a horror movie and they weren't supposed to. And his little brother, they were sitting in the front row and he thought that his brother went to the bathroom, but he went out the door and left and he got in huge trouble. Lots of little fun stories like that for sure. We don't really play any horror movies now. We rarely play rated R movies. Our whole thing is family friendly, fair prices. If it's a rated R movie and it's good and it's maybe just language or something like that, we'll play it every now and then. Which one do we played? Killers of the Flower Moon, that Martin Scorsese, Leonardo DiCaprio film. I think that was maybe the only rated R movie we played. Maybe one. And we played Air. We played the movie Air. That was a pretty good movie. That was with. Was it Ben Affleck? It was the story of how Michael Jordan got started in selling Nike Air shoes. It's a great movie. I don't know why that one was rated R. It's probably language. I don't remember really much anything inappropriate in there. D. Lee went to the Dells when I was a kid. Awesome. We go there. We're there probably once a week. Not that we're going there to have a bunch of fun and go on go-karts, but we live out in the middle of nowhere, and when we need to go to a hardware store like Menards or Home Depot or Lowe's, they're all an hour away, and the closest one is in the Dells, and it's just other cool stuff in the Dells. So it's like if we got to go to Walmart and hit something up at Lowe's or Menards or Home Depot, let's just go to the Dells. Jess Verkey, my husband suffers from psoriasis of the private parts. It's beginning to spread to other areas of his body. How long until people see clear skin per people you've interviewed on average? God bless. Lash, if you're still in the comments, my buddy Lash, we just did that video today. He had psoriasis for 30 years. I believe it was a couple of weeks when he started noticing it. I'm not saying it all cleared up, but I think it was a couple of weeks when he started noticing it. But Lash, if you're still here, if you could comment. I wish I had a better answer for you, Jess. Lash was the first individual I've interviewed with psoriasis. I'm so glad I did because I'm getting so many comments now where people are like, I needed this. I had psoriasis, or I know someone that has psoriasis. Lash has been through it. I've heard of tons of other people, though, not necessarily with psoriasis, but skin issues. And oftentimes what I hear is like around the 3 or 4 week mark, people notice something. I'm not saying that they cure anything or they heal anything, but they notice like, whoa, something's happening. My body's healing. Things are starting to happen. With that said, though, everybody's different. And with that said, like some skin issues I've heard could take longer on carnivore than other things. It's so weird. You hear different stories from other people. The inflammation seems to go away really quickly on carnivore, and that seems to help a lot of people pretty quickly. Lynn Bailey, $14. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Really appreciate that. B-Dog, I have a friend that wants me to visit Wisconsin in August. I might. Let's do it, B-Dog. Come on, you come up to the theater. I was taken to a horror movie by my sister when I was little, Pit and the Pendulum. Yeah, the Dells are like 35, 40 minutes from here. That's a lot of fun, too, because we have our little Airbnb rental I've talked about. It's one of the ways we support our homestead. And we get a lot of people that go to the Dells and they'll come here. It's only 40 minutes away. We get people, like I said, we go there quite often ourselves as well. So I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I think our party upstairs is done too. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I know this was a little different. Some people on here want to talk carnivore. I got other people that are interested in talking more about the movie theater. Movie theater is going to be open up all summer. Tickets are just $5. We got a lot of fun kids movies. And the big announcement I wanted to make was huge shout out to Crooked River Campground. Like I said, Jen and I donated $500 of our own personal money to pay for 100 veterans to come free for the theater. But we've committed, if that money runs out, we're gonna pay more out of our pocket. We're gonna cover it. But now Crooked River Campground, they did this big meat raffle. They donated $1,200, 100% to the Veterans Fund. So if you know a veteran, tell them to come out to Montello Theater. Their money is no good here forever. For as long as we run the theater, veterans are free forever. Whether it's a 4 o'clock movie, a 7 o'clock movie, a kid's movie, whatever movie we're playing, you just come in, show us your ID, your proof that you're a veteran, and you're in for free. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. More carnivore content coming soon. Beep.